cringe a little bit because I don't really like charts and numbers and bar charts and pie charts because, well, I know what they mean. I've created too many of these myself, right? The beauty of charts is you can make them say whatever you want, right? I mean, anybody's ever used Excel and ran the numbers, and you play with charts and play with the numbers on the axis and the colors you use and how you represent things, and you can make anything look good, right? So charts themselves, I try to avoid these. It's the kind of things that sales and marketing types love, and I don't. Although I'm technically in a marketing organization, so I guess I should love them. Nonetheless, though, this one is interesting. Interesting, but less for the numbers themselves. I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know how Evans does their research. I don't know who they call on the phone and who they poll and which customers they talk to and how they gather the data. So I cannot comment on the quality of the data at all. And that's part of what makes me cringe. But what is useful is, I mean, Evans is a reputable data research company. So I'm assuming whatever they do to collect data, they do something similarly over time. And whatever they did 5 years ago, they do it 4 years ago, 3 years ago, all the way to now, right? So while the numbers themselves are rather uninteresting to me, what is interesting is trending, right? And seeing if numbers go this way or that way, and if you can correlate that to other activities going on, that's actually useful information. So the reason I say that is I don't want to pay a whole lot of attention to the numbers. I don't know what they mean, but I do want to pay attention to the trending. So this is ranking Evans Data's analysis of how many cold fusion developers there are worldwide. And you got the chart over there over the years. And so they said that in 2004 they found about 250,000 cold fusion developers. Again, I don't know what they call a cold fusion developer. You know, we run numbers, surveys at Max to ask you, are you a cold fusion developer, are you an ActionScript developer, are you a Flex developer? And everyone always checks everything, right? And if they have that product installed, then they're that. And it's very hard to know what these numbers mean. But nonetheless, they said they found 250,000 developers worldwide, whatever that means. We actually pegged the number back then at about 3 times that, or at least double that. So be it. It's a good number. And then a year later, they said it's basically about the same. Nothing had really changed between 2004 and 2005. Slight increase, probably within the margin of error, actually. So not a significant change there. And then they polled again a year later, and that was interesting. Suddenly we got an interesting spike over there. And so that is about the time where we become Adobe. So suddenly there's a new customer base that hadn't paid attention to before, who's now hearing about all these new products, right? There's customers who have been sold other Adobe offerings, so you can start cross-pollinate to. There are analysts now paying attention and so on. But still, it's interesting climb, but nothing radical. Then we start getting to the 2007 timeframe, and this is now we're talking about Flex and Air, and we're talking about the versions of cold fusion. Suddenly we're seeing a very significant increase. And the increase really, as more we talk about how cold fusion is less of a silo, more integrated to everything else, be it Dreamweaver, be it Flex, be it Air, data service whatever we're doing, we actually see this increase. And then all the way up to 2008, and you see this massive increase in their numbers of users using cold fusion, and the areas they're primarily seeing it in are in enterprise and in rich into application development, or the back end for rich into application development. That's interesting, right? Again, I don't care what the numbers are themselves, but what that does say is in a period of 4 years, Evans found that in their research, talked to the same people, a AAA in who is using cold fusion. That's very significant. We have our own estimates of how many numbers there are and aren't, and the numbers are all good. I mean, there is a definite increase in cold fusion use in development, but it's interesting to see independent verification of the fact that those numbers are on the rise. A couple of things you should be aware of that are going to make